All right, everybody, this is today's little project, and what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be trimming these big live oaks here. I'm going to trim the branches, some of this low hang through here so you can have some visibility through here. Nothing too major. Most of this stuff is pretty small, a couple inches in diameter. So we're going to trim all this back here on that live oak, this tree. I think that's a live oak, or no, that's a water oak. Trim that one, and this live oak back here. Now this was an interesting project. I didn't film this, but this was another homeless encampment cleanup that I did. What had happened here was the owner of this property had some sheds back here, like the little prefab wooden sheds with the double barn doors in the front. They were like 8x12s, and some homeless people had come in here, broken into them, and had been living back here. And they were living in the sheds, and there was a bunch of other people that were living. I mean, it was like at least like 10 people living back up in here around these trees and these sheds and stuff. It was crazy in here. I didn't end up filming any of that because I was here with the owner, and I came out here the day before to look at the job. The homeless people were still here. There was like at least like 8 of them, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm here to clean up this job." And so I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be here in the morning to start cleaning this up." Well, I blew out a tire on the trailer, and I ended up not getting here until like 12, and they were still here. So the owner came, and the police were called, and then I was sitting here for like 2 hours waiting for the homeless people to gather their stuff and leave, and it was like a whole ordeal. And basically all I did was tear down a couple little sheds, pick them up, and rake up some trash and throw it in this dumpster. And the owner wanted me to come back and just clean up some of these oak trees and stuff and clear out around here, and we'll take all of this out in here, these little pines and stuff, grind that down. So now that everything's cleaned up in here and we got some rain, the grass is starting to come back. It's looking pretty good. And we'll still, looks like somebody brought some more trash back over here. Let's throw that in there. So I was going to come down here with the mulcher and do this with the mulcher and the XC5 on the Kubota, on the mini excavator, because it'd been nice to just reach up and trim that, and I wouldn't have had to do it by hand. But had a leak in one of the final drives on the seal on one of the final drives, and it was leaking oil, so it's getting fixed at the moment. So I'm gonna have to trim this stuff by hand, and then I've got the skid steer with the MTL XCT brush cutter, and once I'm just gonna cut this stuff down, let it lay, and then I'm just gonna grind it up in place, mulch it down, because I've got to cut all this stuff on the ground here anyway. So I'm gonna mess with the head cam, and we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna just play with it. I haven't used it in a long time, but I'm gonna use that for trimming these trees, and just see if it turns out with good footage. And then we'll set up the tripod, and I'll put the other GoPro on the machine, and we'll cut all this stuff, mulch it all down, and we'll probably clean up a little bit of this in here as well. Just kind of mulch it down. There's a couple rocks and bricks and stuff here I'm gonna have to be careful of, but I'll pick that little bit of stuff up by hand. Got to be careful in here. When I was picking up some of this trash, I saw a copperhead in here, a little one, but still got to be careful. So all right, let me get the pole saw out. I got to put a new chain on it real quick, and we'll get to trimming. All right guys, I think the angle on the head cam is good, so hopefully this turns out good. I haven't used this head cam in a while. It's not something I do a lot, but I thought it might be a cool little change up, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. We're trimming out some of these limbs right here. Let me crank this thing up. already looks better. I don't know if I can reach that one, maybe. Oh, yeah, got it. All right. Come on. Oh. We might get hit in the head here. Oh, I think the carburetor on this thing is in need of a little cleaning. I've been running it pretty good for the last year or so. Go on. Snakes. Come on. I barely could reach that one. Oh, gotcha. Lightweight, buddy! Whoa. Get it out of the way. Come on. Boom. We get the lower part of this limb. See what that does. Whew. That one almost got me. I think I can get it. All right. I like it. I'm gonna try to grab that limb right there too. That's a little low. Wood chips all over me. That's the only thing I don't like about this pole saw, is it will shower you with wood chips. I guess that comes with the territory. Come on. Oh, hell. Really? I hate water oaks, man. Water oaks have the toughest wood fiber. I mean, it's just really tough wood fiber. All right, I like it. Let's, I think that's about it. Well, I hope this footage turns out good with the head cam. We'll see. I haven't used this thing a whole lot, but thought it might make for some interesting footage while I did this, maybe. I see some other guys using head cams doing some chainsaw work on YouTube, and you know, thought it might be cool. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. It's hot, y'all. It's hot. Hot and humid. I'm glad I'm getting this job done today, because we're supposed to have a chance for, pretty good chance of some strong thunderstorms tomorrow. So, it's hot. Whew. All right, let's unload the skid steer and get to it. Hi guys, just sitting here waiting for the machine to warm up, and somebody commented they wanted to see sort of a in-cab tour of the skid steer. So if you haven't already seen it, this is your display panel, engine temperature, fuel gauge, and then you got like a little thing here that shows you like some different stuff. RPM, that's your hour meter. So I got 2,535 hours. Battery volts, that's your job timer. So I just had this thing serviced, so I reset my job timers every time this thing is serviced, so I know how many hours I've been since my last service. and that's engine temperature, or not, I'm sorry, that's hydraulic temperature. That's your engine temp. And then you got a menu here with some stuff. There's different things. I'm not gonna go through all that. Typically I just let it stay on the RPM. Radio, I don't ever listen to the radio. Rear view, wiper, and then here's your dash where you can enter in. So you got numbers here for your security code, engine start, engine stop, hydraulic lock, which just allows you to drive but just doesn't allow you to articulate the boom or a bucket or whatever. And this is your parking brake, which stops everything but doesn't shut the machine down, just stops all the hydraulics, including the tracks. And then this is just some of your control panel stuff. This is your joystick sensitivity, your joystick pattern. This has to do with the bucket speed, how fast the actual machine will move the bucket, loader arms and stuff. The more you go up, the faster the stuff, you know, like the actual hydraulics will respond. Throttle, AC, thank God for AC. This is your high flow. So when you turn on the high flow, you click this button, and then over here, you'll see this little symbol come up. That's how you know your high flow is on. So I'll click it again, and it's off. So that's your high flow. Reversing fan. This has something to do with the auxiliaries. I don't ever mess with it. This is your lights, and this is the quick catch for unhooking stuff. Hooking up and unhooking stuff to the mounting plate down there. Joysticks. This is, those of you never run one of these, this is your boom and everything. And then you drive with this. So how the auxiliaries work is I spin the cutter up with this. I just roll this rocker switch back, and that'll spin it up, and then I hit this button and that just locks it, so I don't have to hold this rocker. So I spin it up with the rocker, and then I hit that and that locks it, turns it on basically. And then when I want to turn it off, I just hit that button again, turns it off. And that's that. So, and then you got a foot pedal down here, but I don't ever use that either really. I just typically set the throttle and go, depending on what I'm doing. So, end cap tour. Well, I'm waiting for this thing to warm up, but we're about to get to it. Looking pretty good. The property line is about just right there behind that tree. I'm not going to cut any of that stuff because that's somebody else's property, and I make no assumptions about other people's property. I am going to come back through here when I'm done and just pick up some of these bags and stuff, just kind of tidy this up a little bit, pick up some of the trash. Still got the dumpster here, so we'll chuck it in there. I'm really surprised it's still here. I figure the owner would have hauled it off by now, because man, people see a dumpster and it's like moth to a flame with the dumpster around here. So, and you can see people bringing stuff over here. I don't know why they just go and throw it in there. Whatever. So around these trees is looking, all that looks really good over there. That's all fabulous. And just got like one, I think it's just that limb over there that's down. And so I'm gonna just come back through here. I had it on high flow because I was grinding up some of these big limbs and stuff. Some of this stuff was pretty chunky, and I had it on the high flow. But I'm gonna turn on the low flow just to kind of come through here and mow a little bit of this down through here on the other side of these trees and just clean it up. It doesn't need much. And I'm gonna tidy up this hill here too, up to that fence, and all that can just be low flow. It's just some little bit of brush and a few little small trees. So all this looks really good in here, and again, I'll come through here and just tidy this up, pick up a little bit of the trash and just tidy it. And this will just about be done. So looking good. I'll throw you guys on the cab. And a lot of people on the last video, when I went back to the 11,000 square feet OMG lot, let's see, a lot of people were saying, why are you backing up? Why are you backing up? You're wasting time and this and that and the other. And I wish people would watch my videos to the end, because a lot of times I explain things, you know, why I do things a certain way, you know, because a lot of times there's context to things. People seem to forget that these days, I think. And so right here, I've got a parking lot out there, my truck's there, and then this is a putt-putt golf thing here, and I don't want to point that machine grinding this big stuff in the direction of a road and a parking lot and a putt-putt. So I point everything going back that way, because that's just a field full of trees. And anybody that's back in there is trespassing. So that's the safest direction to do it. So I kind of work my way in here back and forth, you know, just kind of grinding this stuff up. And if it throws anything, it's just going to throw it out there in the forest. No harm, no foul. So, I mean, you can't just go around mowing stuff in these, you know, areas like this and just point that thing in any direction. You know, it's a big vacuum, and it'll pick up something and it'll spit it right back out. And when it comes out of it, it's typically going pretty damn fast. As you guys have seen, and I hit the tripod with it just a few minutes ago, and it dinged the hell out of the tripod. That thing's about on its last legs. So, I mean, and when stuff comes out of that thing, it'll pick something up and shoot it like a bullet, you know? So, you can't just point that thing in any direction. It's just not safe. So, I typically try to mow things, especially if I'm doing heavy brush cutting, grinding, stuff like that, in a safe direction. You know, even just mowing, because you never know what you might hit. So, I try to as much as I can, and if that costs me a little bit of time, so be it. So, all right, let's get to mowing. All right, guys, that's the job. I walked around and cleaned up as much of the trash as reasonably possible. I filled up a whole 55-gallon trash bag full of stuff, so I guess that'll have to work. About where that tree line is there, going through there, is about where the property line is. So I just kind of cut down to about where those palms were, kind of clean this up through here. And so now you can see, I didn't trim that tree because I don't think that's on his property. So I did not trim that tree. But if he comes back and says it is his tree, and he wants me to trim it, I can do that. But it's kind of hard to tell when you look on the GIS map where exactly the property lines are, because the trees kind of block the aerial view to see exactly where that is. So, but yeah, I got all this cleaned up through here and back there. So now if you like were to drive in here or walk in here, you can see, you know, nobody can really hide in this underbrush and stuff like that. So that's that. And looks like somebody left me a nice parting gift. I'll show you that on my truck. Oh yeah, got me pretty good. It looks like they took a piece of concrete. You can see the little pieces of concrete in there. And they really were trying to get in here. They smashed that pretty good 3 or 4 times right there. I don't know if they were trying to get in here or they were just pissed. I'm not sure. They didn't. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. So I got the police coming. They're gonna just file a police report just for my insurance, and then I guess I'll file this on my insurance. Yay. Yeah, you can see where they really pushed it. There's a hole right there. I mean, they were really pushing on this thing, trying to get in. There's little pieces of concrete dust in there. Oh, great. Well, that kind of comes with the territory when you work around these lots, you know, with the homeless and whatnot running through here. So I'm not surprised. It's happened before. So, all right, well, the only thing that's left to do now is to load this thing up and wait on the cops, and I guess I'll have to take, hopefully the glass people can get to that pretty quick. So, all right, I can't do anything about it now. You know, it sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. So, all right, it's a Monday. Yeah, so that's a Monday. Oh yeah, and tomorrow, Missy and I get to move into our new place. So there's that too. So I don't know if I'll be working tomorrow or not. Let's get this thing loaded up and I'll wait on the police and we'll get out of here.